What's up everybody, it is Backwards K. For today's episode on the Ryder Cup, I decided to take a deep dive into making the legends of the Ryder Cup team. This video will feature the American side. This team is who I think the best 12 American Ryder Cup golfers ever are. I will even put them into pairings for the different events. For captain, I chose Walter Hagen. I've already discussed this in my past video. This man, besides the actual guy forming the Ryder Cup, Sam Ryder, is the main reason the Ryder Cup really became a staple point of golf. The team. Number 1, Walter Hagen. At 7-1-1 and 4-0 in 4-ball, I'm going with the captain, and I'm going to have him play. This guy handled it once, he can handle it again. My second selection would be Jack Nicklaus at 17, 8-3. He's 8-1 in 4-ball, 5-3-1 in foursomes. The Golden Bear absolutely dominates in 4-ball, and his overall win percentage of 66% is elite. My third selection is Lanny Wadkins. At 20-11, 9-6 in 4-ball, 7-3-1 in foursomes. He's considered to be the best Ryder Cupper ever for the Americans. He's got multiple victories under his belt versus huge names. My fourth selection will be Billy Casper. His record is 20-10-7 overall, 8-5 in foursomes. He played in the 60s and 70s. He's arguably one of the best 3 Ryder Cup golfers ever, but the knock against him potentially is the competition, since it wasn't the entire continent during his tenure. Tom Kite is my 5th overall selection. At 15-9-4, 7-5-1 in 4-ball. This one, I'll be honest, surprised me. I had no idea he was a stone cold killer in singles play. He's undefeated and still quite good in the other formats. My 6th selection is Arnold Palmer. 22-8-2 overall, 9-3 in 4-ball, 7-2 in foursomes. Arnie is one of my favorite players. I was thrilled to have him make the team. He plays golf like a guy with his hair on fire, which in looking at his Ryder Cup history appears to have worked. My 7th selection is none other than Captain America, Patrick Reed. 6-1-2 overall, 1-0 2 in 4-ball, 3-1 in foursomes. He's the owner of the single greatest Ryder Cup moment in my opinion, but he's more than that though. His record in foursomes and singles play is quite impressive. My 8th selection is Gene Saracen. At 7-2-3, 3-1-2 in 4-ball, him and Walter Hagen were the dynamic duo through the first 6 Ryder Cups. He just dominated singles play at a record of 4-1-1. Hale Irwin is my 9th selection. At 13-5-2, he is 6-1 in 4-ball. This guy dominated 4-ball, and you need that on your team, especially against the Europeans who are better usually at 4-ball. My 10th selection is Sam Snead. At 10-2-1, 4-1-1 in 4-ball. What's crazy about Sam Snead's record is it doesn't even include foursomes, since that format did not happen until years later. My 11th selection, Lee Trevino. 17 wins, 7 losses, 6 ties overall, with a 5-3-2 record in 4-ball. Lee Trevino is such a fun guy to have on the team with his crazy personality and big playability. I think he's the guy that keeps the team loose in those critical moments. My final selection for the team, Tiger Woods. At 13 wins, 17 losses, and 2 ties overall, the record really isn't all that incredible, but his singles record of 4-1-2 is very impressive, and I would strategically use him. Who would I pair up with whom is a great question. For foursomes, which is the alternate shot format, I chose Patrick Reed and Lee Trevino. 2 feisty golfers. This could be America's best chance to beat the Spanish Armada. This is a potential crash and burn team as well, or that Ryder Cup momentum shift team. Either way, the Ryder Cup is going to start with a bang with these guys leading off. My second group would be Hale Irwin and Jack Nicklaus. I feel both of these guys are such steady, smooth players that they would make a great pairing. My third group would be Lanny Wadkins and Billy Casper. These are 2 golfers I haven't done extensive research on, but Lanny Wadkins is considered to be one of the best Ryder Cup players ever, and both played in 8 Ryder Cups and have played the 2nd and 4th most matches ever. So I'm putting experience with experience. Lanny has never lost in the Ryder Cup to Seve Ballesteros, the great Spaniard. My 4th pairing in foursomes would be Tiger and Arnie. My thought process behind this is both are well known to be very aggressive and excellent scramblers, so neither one will be shocked to be hitting out of the trees or playing some abnormal shot that most aren't comfortable with. This was the grouping I liked the least, but let's be honest, these 2 are 2 of the streakiest golfers ever known. I'd be benching Saracen, Hagen, Kite, and Snead for the first part. I benched 3 of the 4 because they never played foursomes, and the other one, Tom Kite, didn't have a great foursomes record, being 3-4-1. For the next day, foursome, I would throw Hagen and Saracen together since they were together in the 20s and have familiarity with each other. Kite and Snead would likely be a fairly uninteresting pairing, but still, I'm sure, competitive. The 4-ball format, in case you didn't know, is where you play your own ball and you write down the better score between you and your partner. When I think about golf in this format, a lot of factors come into play. Do you put the aggressive players together or separate? Do you put the quiet and humble together? Do you put the big hitters together? Or do you put a big hitter with someone that's maybe more accurate off the tee, but not likely to go off on a huge birdie streak? Do you pair your faster pace of play guys together? The other thing I think about is I don't want to put people together that might not fit from a personality standpoint. Putting an outspoken player like Patrick Reed with maybe a quieter guy like Tom Kite could be brutal. The problem is I don't know these older players' personalities well enough to be able to pair them. Here's who I would put together for 4-ball matches. I'd put Lanny Wadkins and Billy Casper out there right together again. At 7-3-1 for Wadkins and 6-3-3 for Casper, these two are the most distinguished players with the most career matches as a good pairing. Casper was the dominant force in the 60s and 70s, Wadkins in the late 70s and 80s. So I feel there likely wasn't any outside feud that I would know of between them. Already paired in foursomes, let's keep this duo together. My second pairing in 4-ball matches would be Walter Hagen and Patrick Reed. Hagen is rested from the day before and itching to go after sitting out the foursomes matches. I feel Captain America would love the history of Mr. Hagen and what he did for the game, and they both would make an awesome partnership. My third group would be Sam Snead and Hale Irwin. I have no idea how their games would pair together, but I feel both are a bit underrated in how well their careers really were. The fourth pairing I would put is Arnie Palmer and Jack Nicklaus. This would be must-see TV. Arnie and Jack, the two combined for some of the most epic showdowns in golf. They do have a mutual respect for each other, and I think they could be a nice pairing that actually gets along with each other while playing. Hopefully Jack doesn't get bothered by Arnie's corkscrew swing or maybe more reckless style of golf. From a single standpoint, whether we are behind or ahead at this point, I'm going with my best 3 big guns first to get that closest to 14.5 points needed for the win. I'm leading off with Tom Kite. At 5 wins, 0 losses, and 2 ties, the guy's never lost a singles match. He might not be the sexiest pick to start with, but I'm rolling him out there first. My second pick would be Tiger Woods. If you watched my Tiger vs. Jack video, you would know that Tiger is considered one of the greatest match play opponents ever. Tiger, I'm sure, would want to get out of the cage early. His record in singles, 4-1-2. My third pick would be Patrick Reed. At 2-0, while his record isn't as extensive as say some of the others on the group, I want Captain America off there early to get the crowd into it. My fourth selection would be Lanny Wadkins. At 4-2-2, with notable victories over Seve Ballesteros, Nick Faldo, this is definitely a guy with some serious cojones. My fifth pick would be Billy Casper at 6-2-2. He's known to have beaten Peter Allis, Brian Barnes twice, and the great Tony Jacklin. My sixth selection would be Lee Trevino. At 6 wins, 2 losses, and 2 ties, Trevino played 10 matches in Ryder Cups from 1969 through 1981. His impressive victories include Peter Allis, Tony Jacklin, Sandy Lyle, and Sam Torrance. My next 3 guys I would roll out with would be Hale Irwin, Sam Snead, and Gene Sarazen. Hale Irwin has a 3-1-2 record, Sam Snead 6-1, and Gene Sarazen 4-1-1. My final 3 guys I want if the score is really tight and the game is on the line is Arnold Palmer, Walter Hagen, and Jack Nicklaus. I picked these 3 guys because I feel that they have a great mixture of leadership, ball striking, and overall mix of steady and gutsy to beat the Europeans. That steadiness comes from Nicklaus and gutsy from Hagen and Palmer. Well, that's it for the making of the Legends of Ryder Cup team. Next week I will release the Europeans Legends team. Have a great week. Just over a month until the Ryder Cup. Backwards K out.